This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN.
Somebody is using his information and signed him up for a whole bunch of different solicitations and stuff like that, which has gotten him upset. You know anything about that?
Do I know anything about that?
Yeah.
No, I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
This video contains the interview of a police chief who, in a fit of frustration, signed up a civilian for various spam websites. Madison, Wisconsin Police Chief Tim Keleman was charged Thursday with a misdemeanor for allegedly registering a Tea Party leader for solicitations from gay dating, pornography, and federal healthcare websites. This was done in retribution for Tea Party leader Greg Luce's encouraging his followers to harass members of the police department.
This room's hot, so that sucks.
It's good work.
I'm back for 1 day and off for 3, so
Right.
hopefully this isn't too much shit.
You guys got a lot of stuff this weekend, don't you?
Airfast, yeah. It's actually not our event, but
Who was that this weekend?
yeah, takes over the island.
Yeah, I'm not working uniform anymore. I'm sort of oblivious to a lot of that.
Oh, sucks.
I see the emails, but I know I'm not worried about it, so.
I know I kind of talked to both of you a little bit that I got this case going on that's kind of involving all of our agencies. So I wanted to get us all together on the same page, same table. It involves Greg Lucy. You guys know him?
Yeah,
I
great
know who he
loot.
is, yeah.
Luce?
Yeah.
What's his name? It's L-U-C-E though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Greg Loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tea Party guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
What do I know about him? He's not here in fuck. He's suing me in federal court.
Okay.
Over that banner thing?
Yeah, the shit on the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's one type, Mr. Type A, just,
I heard him on Wisdom.
yeah, he won't, it doesn't matter what the law is, it's whatever he says the law is, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Okay.
We got some attorneys out of Madison, the constitutional law attorneys, and they're like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, we're gonna win this case, you know, so we're gonna go, it went through our attorneys,
Mhm.
you know, to the town attorney, and they're like, the town's like, well, our insurance carrier's like, no, you know, John's 30 and Collins on the cross, no, we'll get Axley out of Madison, they come in. They're gonna mop them up,
Yeah.
yeah, but the trial's not till June or July of next year.
He's pretty loud then.
Oh,
I think.
fuck,
Yeah, he'll yell at our officers on traffic stops and stuff.
yeah.
Like, just pull up and get out and start yelling.
He'll drive by the video, record your ass, YouTube you, fuck. Well, the problem that I've had with him, and I don't know if it's into the case, but just because he'll take your, whatever you got going on, he'll videotape it, put it on YouTube, and spread it out to all the whack jobs.
Kellerman seems reasonably confident that he isn't in any kind of trouble. He jokes with the investigators, already assuming that they are on his side. Whether this is the case or not, it best serves the investigation to play along in order to keep him speaking without censoring himself. Watching and researching these crimes really puts into perspective just how important safety is, both out in the world and online, which is why today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Masking your IP address is essential to becoming private online. A VPN makes sure that your city, country, and download history aren't linked to your identity. Surfshark VPN keeps your online identity safe by encrypting all the information sent between your device and the internet, which keeps your personal data protected from big companies or cyber criminals. It also swaps the real location of your device with a new one, which can allow you to access and unblock content from other countries, like Netflix shows and movies that are only available to certain parts of the world. Surfshark does not monitor, track, or store what you do online. That means no connection or activity logs, which makes it the absolute best choice when it comes to VPNs. Get Surfshark VPN by clicking my link in the description below, or go to surfshark.deals/stranger and enter promo code STRANGER for 85% off and 3 extra months for free.
I mean, I got a couple hundred emails, death threats. I hope Officer Casper gets shot in the face. just crazy. So he doesn't necessarily do it, but he instigates it.
Okay.
You know, out on his, you know, it's kind of like these guys down there, where was it? Those ranchers.
Oh, Nevada, was it?
Yeah, or something like that.
Bureau of Land Management.
Yeah, land management came in and started to kind of move in on territory, and then of course they put it out on their network, and I mean everybody that had a gun showed up with horseback, and you know, fuck the government. Well, the guy that pays taxes or wasn't paying for the fees, but none of that matters anymore. Now we're just going to get into the fucking evil government and blah 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 blah. So yeah, this guy's not a guy to fuck with unless you better have your ducks in a row.
Okay. He's and he's not particularly the suspect in this case. Somebody is using his information and signed him up for a whole bunch of different solicitations and stuff like that, which has gotten him upset. You know anything about that?
Do I know anything about that?
Yeah.
No, I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Nothing at all.
No.
I'm going to be straightforward with you that I know that you know something about that, okay, and that's more why we're here today, okay?
Okay.
He did report that he's got a whole bunch of solicitations. We backtracked it to computers signing him up for this, not only at your PD but at your house, okay? So we know that, which it sounds like this guy freaking deserves it. Like, it sounds like he's an a-hole, and to do it anonymously, certainly you're not going to go out in your uniform and say, hey, Greg, F you, you know?
Yeah.
And doing it anonymously online just to annoy him is probably the more professional way. That way you're not doing it with your badge on. So, I mean, I know that's, you know, not necessarily something that you think would maybe come this far. But
Okay. Well, just cut to the chase. Where are we going?
that's what I'm going with. He filed a report, and technically, to use his info like you did is against the law. Okay.
Okay. What?
I'm being straightforward with you.
Okay.
I'm letting you come in while you're working. You know, I'm not.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to do it that way. It sounds like I told you, this guy, and like you told me, everybody I've talked to, this guy's not the most straightforward guy. He's kind of a loose nut. So that's why this investigation got started. Okay.
Okay.
Is there any reason you were doing that stuff, and is there anything beyond just signing them up for stuff that you did?
No, I mean, the only thing that I did was just, you know, go to, it was the same thing that we were getting
Okay.
at the police department, getting signed up for all these email accounts and whatever, you know, I didn't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm. And that was my assumption, because originally when I saw it, I'm like, oh, is this even, you know, yeah, it's kind of annoying him, but is there any law that it is? And anytime anybody does that, uses somebody's identifying information to harass somebody, it does fall under that, I guess. And like I said, I had to look it up. They got the case forwarded to
Sure.
Monroe County.
Sure.
Obviously, they don't want
They don't.
any
I
bad blood
understand,
with you.
yeah.
Okay.
Where
Where
are we going with this?
So that's where we're at. We're at the culmination to this point of the case. Like I said, we know that it was sent from Campbell PD, sent from your house. The next step, hopefully, your cooperation, confirming which computers it was sent from. I feel like we need to at least do the investigation correctly, because that's what we're upholded to do. We're gonna have somebody, I don't wanna take your work computer. If I know which computer it was, confirm that this is the computer these items were sent from. Just mirror the hard drive as evidence. At your house, no, this is the computer. Do what we need to do so we don't have to take all your computers.
Right.
I have search.
Where are we going? Am I gonna get arrested here?
You're not. I'm not taking it. If I was gonna arrest
I mean, what
you.
are we looking at here, guys?
Well, this just in the interest of full disclosure, this came to me back in January.
Mm-hmm.
I went on family leave for 2 months.
Okay.
And I come back and it's to him.
Okay.
So it is his investigation.
After a token protest of innocence, Kellerman drops the act and focuses on the potential consequences. He has used a police department computer to harass a civilian, which is a misdemeanor. Regardless of whether someone deserves it or not, this kind of behavior cannot be allowed in positions of authority.
The only reason I'm here is because it was initially filed with us. It was my case initially.
Yeah.
I didn't do any work on it, okay? I got it, took off for a couple months, and then it got sent up through our ranks to him. So most of your questions are just better off.
Right.
Where are we going with this? You know,
When
you're
all
gonna
said
lose my
and done-
job here? Is that what you're looking for?
I can't, you know, I don't have any pull to make you lose your job, and
Yeah.
you're being decent, and
Yeah,
is
I mean, the
certainly gonna
biggest
go
thing is
over.
this guy was harassing the hell out of me, my officers, everybody, and it's my only way to be like, all right, buddy, you know.
Sure.
It's like going to the Tribune and be like, you're a douchebag or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The guy was just harassing. My officers are getting death threats.
And, you know, and that's all information that I like to know.
Yeah.
and that-
Well, it's just like when you guys, I'm talking about you, like if you're dealing with this guy, like you got to know what you're doing because this guy is. There was a complaint that he had cut somebody off the other day in traffic,
Mhm.
and one of the lacrosse officers went over there and refused to answer the door because he slammed on the brakes in front of some female. So you know when he does something wrong, it's just like whatever. You know, nobody, nothing ever happens to this guy. It's just unbelievable. And my officers are out there getting berated on the internet and YouTube, and it's all his anonymous ways to just screw my guys over. You know, it's unbelievable. I mean, I got guys that are afraid to go out on calls because they're getting YouTube by this guy. So,
No, and
can I get that?
yeah, can you tell me?
I just got it.
When all's said and done, like, no, you're not going to jail. I'm gonna do my report and send it. And I think it's got to go to lacrosse district attorney. They'll probably send it to our district attorney to look at to see if they want to do anything with it. And that's, I mean, the minimum that I can do, and that's my
Right.
plan. I don't want to do more than that because, like I said, you seem like a good guy, and but at the same time,
Well, you gotta
this
do your job,
complaint-
fellas. You gotta do your job. I completely
Absolutely.
understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what information I stole from him. You know, if you go on like a website and
And that's
you know,
exactly-
sign somebody up for like a email newsletter or something like that,
Mhm.
you know, it's just annoying. Where we had to go into our things and have to keep deleting all of these things that we're getting signed up for. I'm like, all right, buddy, you know, you're causing us a hassle. We're gonna cause you a hassle, you
I
know.
see.
And, you know, I don't, maybe it won't rise to that level where it meets the criteria of the law.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I don't mean to be elusive, Tim, because I really read this report in January, and it's coming back this week, you know, after I've been gone for 5 days again for the weekend, and Jeff's calling me, you know, and, you know, my captain's saying, well, this is turned over and this is where we're at. So I pretty much know about as much as you do, maybe a little bit more, but
Yeah.
not anything real significant.
And I'm,
You know,
like,
Well, to me,
so-
fellas, I just think it wasn't that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's just like, you know, you want to mess with us because we were getting messed with. Like,
Right.
it was like over the top. I mean, somebody was trying to hack into my personal bank accounts. Are you familiar with like Ultra Credit Union? When you log in, it's like, hey, you haven't ever been here before. Put in your security
Challenge questions.
questions. I'm getting emails that people are trying my challenge questions. I'm like,
Okay, yeah.
what the hell is going on here? People are hacking my personal bank accounts.
yeah.
That's a scary thing. you know?
Yeah.
And,
And no, well, here's the thing. I went to DCI about it.
Uh-huh.
They wouldn't do anything. Nobody would do anything. I went all the way up through the ranks of DCI.
To see you.
Well, I had to write a synopsis of events, everything that happened. They're like, well, I'm sorry, you can run some malware on your computer.
And I know that this
What?
one, because of lacrosse, once your name had come up, they're like, we don't want it. They tried asking DCI, and DCI said, it's not misconduct in public office, and therefore we're not taking it. And that's why it sent to me for the last of the follow-up, which is, you know, what we're here doing today.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny because I went to them over what was happening to us, and they're like, "Yep, sorry. Here's a couple of agents. You can run this anti-spyware on your computer." Because that was the other thing too. Is we got a laptop in our office, and I came in at 6 a.m. and my officer's like, "Hey, were you just on our computer?" Because I have remote access to the computers if I need to upload stuff to the squads or whatever. And they said, I'm like, no, I would have been just showering and coming. He's like, well, somebody just moved the mouse, open up the email program, and they were going through our emails.
you're saying remotely?
Somebody was remotely in our computer. So I don't know who was doing it, and that's why I went to DCI saying, somebody's in our police computers. I mean, this is ridiculous. Can't do anything for you. Nobody do anything.
The events that Keleman describes are frustrating, and it could be a potentially dangerous breach if true. Still, his actions would have done nothing to solve the problem. If anything, he might have made the situation worse.
That wasn't your IT guy or anything?
No.
Do you guys have, I assume?
Well, since then, I've spent over $1,000 in firewall. We had to buy a $500 firewall and have the county come in and put all this stuff. So you see, I mean, that's all we're dealing with is like computer stuff. So I'm like, hey, buddy, you know, you're messing with me. I'm going to sign you up for a couple of newsletters. Take that, pal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not denying that I did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And like I said,
I didn't think it was that big of a deal. You know, it's like you go on the Tribune and you might make a comment on a blog or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and certainly people are forwarded those rights, and it bothers me that he's probably done this to you, and I don't know.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing that bothers me. He's an IT guy.
Let's see.
That's what he claims to be, an IT consultant.
I knew he's a consulting business. I don't know what that
Yeah,
exactly is.
some sort of IT guy. So I'm thinking this guy's hacking into our computers, whatever. I mean, it's.
And like I said, I wish I knew what more.
So you're gonna type it out, forward over to the DA's office, and see what they're gonna do.
Exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's the plan.
I think the most frustrating thing was, like I said, I had gone to DCI. Literally went to
Mhm.
DCI agents and said, "This is what's happened to us."
Mm-hmm.
Do you, and I would, I mean, if you're okay with it, I would love to include that stuff in the report. To
Yeah,
say, hey,
definitely.
This is where he's coming
I was
from.
even going to our guys going, "This is ridiculous. I mean, if you're the police and somebody's messing with you, what do?
Mhm.
You go to the police."
Mhm. Oh, but when you're the police, how are you
I'm
supposed
sorry, what we can't. There's nothing we can do for you. I mean, I'd write this like, I'll give you a copy of it, like this, you know, 5-page synopsis of events, everything that happened from the time that we said, "Hey, you guys got to get up the bridge," to, you know, the email hacking and all the other stuff that was going on, and then you got the DCI saying, "Yeah, sorry, nothing we can do." Well, okay. If that's, I mean, these guys can blatantly send me an email that says, "We're going to shoot you in the face," and nobody will do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't-
And then now I'm getting called in because I got sent the guy, you know, signed him up for a couple of spam emails that you got to go and click and, you know, undo out of your inbox.
Mhm.
Ooh, you know,
I know.
I
and that's-
really put the guy out. I mean, the amount of stuff that this guy has done,
Right.
it's unbelievable. And he claims like, "Oh, I didn't know anything about it." It's unbelievable.
This guy, and like you said, as soon as something happens to him, he's got to turn around.
Right. Well, I couldn't believe that because one of our officers heard on the scanner that he had cut somebody off, went in front of him, slammed on the brakes, and you know the woman was like, "What's going on?" She called the police. They had the plate number, went over to his house. His truck's there. Wouldn't come to the door. You know, you and I would come to the door. Say, "Yeah, you know what? I was hot. I did slam on my brakes. Okay, write me a ticket. Whatever. You know, you do the right thing."
He's not that mindset.
No. Well, it's not normal.
Mhm.
You know, it's just like them being up on the bridge. It's obviously a safety concern.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have some political vendetta against this guy or any of those people.
Mhm.
It's simply about traffic safety.
Mhm.
So,
It's straightforward, and it sounds like it's pretty straightforward that you guys even tried. Just take your stuff and go. Don't
yeah,
make this
why
a
don't you
big
try
deal.
another location, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got push it and being a Tea Party guy or whatever he claims to be pushing it. So, all right. So, which computer at work was it that the stuff was? signed
Well, it
up
would have
for?
been my desktop computer, I'm sure.
And you have your? I assume I haven't been to your office. You have your own office with your
Yeah,
own computer.
yep.
That your other officers have another workstation where they do most departments.
I
That's
guess,
how it is, or-
yeah, stack of computers in there, yeah.
Okay.
You know, 6, 7 computers. But I'm sure if I did it, it was,
Okay.
Something pops up. Hey, sign me up for this newsletter. And that's the exact same stuff that we were getting at our inbox. You gotta go in, you gotta unsubscribe.
I go to the
each
bottom
month.
and
Yes.
it's as easy and
Yeah.
straightforward.
Did
as
you
that.
sign up for this? No. Click on it. Okay, each email you gotta go on and click on it. Oh, okay, you wanna mess with us, buddy? And that's where it came from. If you go to the videos that they put out there, they contact the Campbell Police Department. We were getting 300-400 phone calls a day, just Arizona, every place you could think of.
Because they have such a big group from
Yeah, they put it out there, and it's all meant to intimidate, harass. And I'm thinking, someone gonna help us out here? You know what I'm saying? You can imagine if we had a phone in here, it was just ringing continuously. And you all up, yeah, you motherfuckers, blah, 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 just cussing us out. I'm like, you have no idea what's really going on, but it's what is put out on the internet.
Kellerman mentions threats being made against his officers, which is certainly something that should have been taken more seriously and really needs to be looked into further.
Which is unbelievable, because this is the guy who's doing it to us. And then he complains when he gets a couple of emails. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. That's.
Hey, like I said, you guys gotta do your job.
And that's exactly it. And I can tell you know that too. And it goes a lot easier when you're straightforward with us. And
That's bullshit, too. Yeah, I signed him up for a couple of emails. I mean, that's the extent of it. Oh, if you're saying I broke the law.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're
Investigating a harassment complaint.
That's-
harassing this guy.
Yeah, and that's
And how long ago was this?
January, and then
That's what I'm
and then
saying.
again in March. A few more in March.
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Does
that sound right? And there was nothing more than that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the height of it. When, it was really going down. I mean, it was bad, fellas.
Yeah. And we're almost.
It got to the point where I had to go personally see somebody, not a psychiatrist, but just, go sit down and talk to somebody, because I'm like, same thing I'm telling you, look, I'm the police, and I go to the police for help, and they say, sorry, we can't do anything for you. Well, who do you go to after that? For the exact same thing that's going on. I'm like, okay, well, if this isn't a big deal to the police, which is, they didn't do anything, they don't care, they said there's nothing we can do, run some anti-spyware. Which it wasn't just like we were getting pop-ups or anything like that, it was like we were getting all these emails, someone's trying to hack into my bank account, someone's trying to, someone was remotely in our computer, somebody was in our system. And since then we've had, like I said, we've got a $500 device, and I had county paid them $500 to come install it, so they couldn't get in if they were getting in. But basically, BCI's like, yeah, nothing we can do for you.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of our agents that can walk you through spyware. I can do spyware. I can download the spyware program. So.
Like I said, we have DCI that's gonna, I don't want to take your computers, do a
Flash it. I know.
Mirror the drive quick. That way, just like I said, because I know this loose nut guy, he's gonna make sure at the same time that we're doing our job the right way.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we don't, you know how he's gonna.
Here's the problem. It doesn't matter how this plays out. He's gonna make a big to-do about it. Big to-do.
Yeah, we know that.
And we want to do whatever we can to alleviate as much of that, even though it's going to be, he is.
Well, it's coming back on me. It's going to be a big old pie in my face.
Yeah,
But
it comes
in
down
our
to-
reality, see, here's the problem. The other side never gets out all that stuff that he did to us.
And
And
that's-
never comes up to such bullshit.
And that's I know from one of the hardest parts about this job is that people can yell and swear, but if it's directed at us, that's okay. But as soon as other people are there,
Well, I gotta
then
admit, fellas,
then
if
it
you look
becomes-
back at it, after you sign them up for anything, like, take that. Is it really that big of a deal?
Right, and
But you all know, you and I can't go break the law, we can't go do drive-bys, you can't go slash.
Right, yeah.
You can't slash his tires, you can't do anything illegal.
Mhm.
Did I think I was really doing anything illegal? No.
And it very well may be that the DA agrees, hey, this isn't gonna.
There's a statute pertaining to it.
Yeah, harassment by electronic means.
Yeah, and it's like, one, you could probably argue each way by looking at this and saying, does this fit or not?
Right, exactly.
Hence, that's why it was forwarded to these guys.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
So as that computer will.
The problem is here, fella, no matter how it plays it out, this doesn't look good for me. I probably potentially lose my job.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that, and that's the shitty feeling I have on this, is because I'm here just to assist him.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And
you know,
But I think either way it plays out, I'm probably gonna lose my job.
I don't know. you know, yeah, I
Kellerman tries to get a feel for whether or not he will lose his job without coming right out and asking. The investigators hedge their answer since it isn't up to them. All they can do is collect information. They have no say in how it is used.
yeah, that's a possibility, Tim. Yeah, but you know, that's all
Yeah.
goes back to the town of Campbell and not me.
Yeah.
You
My
know,
boss
so,
know about this?
no
Town
one knows
supervisor?
about
Not
this.
yet.
You're the first one.
You're the first one.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have plans to call him? Yeah. I mean, if you want to call and talk
Well, I'll
about it.
call him and let him know, yeah.
You know, but yeah, I just need to make sure he knows. We try to keep the search at the town for your computer there, you know, pretty quiet.
Subtle as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because you're being cooperative.
Yeah, what's interesting is like, I've been having problems with my computer lately.
Okay.
You know, I just ran the spyware this morning, the toolbar on my bottom, like all the links weren't working.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in the back of your head, you're thinking, is this guy still messing with me or
Is there
what?
someone inside?
Yeah, what the hell? But
Yeah.
again, who do you call?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe DCI will see something when they take a look at it, but this did get
Yeah.
down there, I guess. What about at home? What computer would you have used?
It's actually a work laptop.
Like your squad laptop?
Yeah, we have old ones that we, you know, after they're out on
Yep.
the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You just keep it at home?
hmm
Okay, so it's at home now?
Yeah, you'll grab
And
it. It's not a big deal.
Okay, and we can, is anybody else home?
No.
Okay,
I'm
you're
not.
married, right?
Yeah.
Yep. What, your wife work?
Uh-huh.
Where's she working?
Well, orthodontic clinic here in La Crosse.
Okay. How old are your kids?
16 and 4, or just turned 4.
Okay. 4-year-old in daycare, preschool?
Yeah, daycare.
Well, I guess, you know,
Doesn't look good, fellas, you know what I'm saying?
and
But
know,
we understand that, and that's the, I know it's been
it
hard.
doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter really whether DA prosecutes or not. This guy's one of those kind of guys, this will be the big to-do.
And like I've said,
Yeah.
even though, yes, that we gotta do our jobs and do this, we wanna do it as smoothly as possible, because
Yeah.
you seem like a straightforward guy, he's
Well.
doing whatever you felt he could just to get these jabs in at this guy, and because you know, like you said, all
Nobody's
the
doing
other,
nothing.
there's so much worse stuff that you can't do that these guys may be doing, so. So I guess we'll kind of go from there. Maybe it will be easiest to route to your house first, serve that search warrant, and then go to your work.
Whatever you guys want to do, I mean, whatever's most convenient for you
Right
guys.
now,
It's up to you, Jeff. Yeah. It sounds good, I guess.
well, now I think about it, why don't we go to your work first, and we'll at least get that process started, and if they, because the DCI guy said depending on the hard drive, it could take a little bit of time. That way he at least can get started,
Yeah, it's
hopefully,
no
and then
different than,
maybe while he's working on that.
You can take the whole, hard, they just come right out of that computer, so.
Okay, I mean, and that was my big, you know, we talked about just go and take the computer, but I don't know what's on that computer that is gonna be hard for you to necessarily recover. I mean, if there's all the stuff for your other cases that you can pull from a network drive if they get saved on a network drive, I mean, you tell me
Yeah, this is not.
where your work stuff is
No,
stored,
don't
or is
use
it
it
easier
for
just to take the
remote
computer?
connection? Well, I mean, the hard drive, just take the cover off and it comes out.
Right.
Because they're interchangeable, so I mean, you
Right.
take the hard drive if you need it.
And is that easier? I mean, would you?
Yeah,
you
I
want
mean,
it
unless you
mirrored?
have like the availability to flash it right there, then.
He does, but he says it depending on the hard. Do you know how big your hard drive is?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, once he looks at it, he'll be able to let us know.
Yeah. It just sucks, fellas,
I know.
you know.
Yeah.
It just sucks, 'cause, you know, I went to DCI, and that's really what makes me so mad. It's just like, this is everything that's happened to me. That was my whole train of thought was, you know what? DCI's like, yeah, you know, this is computer.
Part
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, that's nothing we investigate. And I'm thinking, okay, well, whatever, man. This guy can sign me up for all these things. I'm going to sign this guy up for it. And I'm not saying necessarily it was him, but it was all orchestrated by him. You hear him on Wisdom, and you know, and his YouTube posts are contact the Campbell Police Department. Tell them what you think.
Mhm.
Well, what are you trying? You're telling people to contact us.
Yeah. Yeah, trust me, when this first came on my desk, I got an earful from him 3 times a day. Okay?
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on with it.
Investigators aren't questioning Kellerman very intently, but it isn't all that necessary, since he has given up trying to deny the accusations.
I'm like, all right, I'll deal with it. Obviously, I've watched my P's and Q's with him.
Oh yeah.
I left it on my desk and left for 2 months, and came back, and to find out it's in his hands now. You know, so you know, it's pretty shitty all
Because
around.
he thinks that I have some vendetta, and I don't have some vendetta for this guy or anybody that's. But he's like the guy that at board meetings, that Keleman guy should be fired. Well, if you're mad because I'm somehow not allowing you to be up on the bridge, and somehow I'm the direction of his ire, you know, like you, Keleman. It's just like, it's about public safety, dude.
Yeah.
It's about public, but
And as chief,
that's my
you gotta be
job.
that.
And I don't think you're the only place with an overpass that has that ordinance, I'm guessing.
yes, Madison's got it.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. The whole
Yeah.
thing was dumb. But the thing was, what this blew up to be, you know what I'm saying? Officer Casper in the face, that's significant.
Mm-hmm.
And you literally get at the DCI and they're like, what? And you're not gonna investigate? That's a death threat. Well, you know, they just send it by email, they don't really mean it, blah, blah, blah. It's just thinking,
And, you know.
you gotta be kidding me.
So, again, willing to work with you is the best way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You said you have one report that you'd like to give me that I'd love to.
Yeah, well, it's not even.
Or not a report,
It's
but
like a
you're-
synopsis of events. Like, I
Exactly.
contacted DCI and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what's going on. I contacted one of the field agents. She's like, oh, this sounds pretty serious. And I'm like, it is serious. You guys don't understand what we're dealing with here. Okay, so she kind of shines me on for, you know, it's the weekend, you know, that goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I forwarded all the information to her, and then she was forwarding it to her supervisor. And I think, you know, I don't know if it's because Walker's in office and is there politics involved with it? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? You know, because we're stifling the overpass people who are Republican, and Walker's Republican, and blah, blah. I have no idea what's going on over at DCI, but basically, finally I called them, what's going on? And they're like, oh wait, you know, I forwarded it to my supervisor and he's got to review it. Okay, then I called, left him a message, and nothing here. And I finally called this guy back, like, hey, finally get him on the phone like a real person, like, can I talk to you about this? And he's like, you know, well, you know, there's nothing we can really do. We can get you, you know, I can get you over to the IT people, they can get you the spyware. Spyware? What?
Death threats, spyware.
Death
Yeah.
threat, right. And it's just like, they don't care, whatever. So that's why, like I said, you know, that's why I thought this wasn't that big of a deal. Like, okay, DCI doesn't think a death threat's a big deal. So if I sign this guy for a couple of email accounts, and that's all I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just some stupid email newsletters. Sign you up for that.
Yeah. And that's like I said from the beginning, it doesn't sound like there's any gain just to give them a headache and
Yeah. Well, you know, you go in your email inbox and just
Yeah.
you have to delete, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the extent of it. Did I do anything that, like, put them off financially or,
Right.
you know, hurt them?
Yeah.
Or, no, you just go in and say, that's really annoying. Just think of the stuff, the stuff that they did to us is beyond annoying.
Well, we're well aware of what pain this is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
Well, I just can't believe that the stuff that they're not doing is criminal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I go
believe it is.
I go to a department that's higher than all of us. You know,
Right.
we're just local police. You go to DCI for the state thinking, hey, these guys, they got all their computers.
Maybe
they got
it's
their
not so much
widgets.
that it's not criminal, it's just that they're not interested in it.
They don't want to do nothing
It
with
might be a
it.
little more of an
Yeah.
accurate statement, I think.
That's probably.
And as you know, you're thinking as a police chief, you know, you call up, this is what's happening to our department. And you saw when you first started questioning him, like, you better know what you're talking about with this guy, because he is,
And then.
yeah.
So how long ago was that, just out of curiosity?
How long was what?
those death threats and whatnot.
Oh, it was right around the same time.
I mean,
I have
I
to,
don't think it's too late for you to request another agency, not being DCI to investigate it. You know, I mean,
I went to the sheriff's department. Well, you know, we could be involved in this, so we don't want to investigate.
well, that would have been my guess of what to do is to call the sheriff's
I
department.
went to the sheriff's department first, then I went to DCI. I mean, it's just like,
That's right.
what do I call the FBI?
Right.
They're gonna laugh at me.
Kellerman continues to complain to a receptive audience, and his attitude suggests that while he knows that losing his job is technically possible, he doesn't expect things to go that far. This video shows a desperate escape attempt by a criminal who had successfully concealed a weapon, which he then turns on police. On July 30th, 2020, Lavelle Jordan was seen by officers entering a car that had been reported as stolen during a...
We're dealing with terrorists.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope someone shoots Officer Casper in the face.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
Run
no,
some
that's
spyware.
Tim, it's
Run some
shitty.
spyware, man.
It's a shitty
Ah.
situation all around, absolutely.
Mhm.
So,
Should we just get rolling up there?
I think so.
What do you think the outcome of this is, fellas? Let's not.
Tim, I don't know.
And that's what I don't want to tell you, you know, lose your job, because I don't know that. I'm not saying that's
the
not a
severity of it,
possibility.
you get sued in federal
I-
court, blah blah blah. You know, did I do something like company time? I don't know. Sure.
Well, and
I mean,
from
you
DCI looking at it, they said it's not, and everything, I'm gonna be honest, everything I've looked about misconduct in office, that I can't see how this falls under it. It's not one of, it's not the charge
That
I'm saying
apparently
about.
was their big thing.
And that was exactly it.
It's
When
more
it
of
got
the-
sent to DCI, they said this isn't misconduct in
Because
office.
they have a public integrity unit.
Exactly, and that's
blah,
Right,
what
that's,
should-
yeah.
Yeah,
This is
and they
not-
said this isn't.
This is
the
not-
case.
It's just pretty much Jeff's gonna do his report and send it to my DA, who was probably gonna mail, send it to his DA.
Yeah,
His
so-
DA, and then it's gonna be reviewed and
Go from there.
and that's it. I mean,
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing, Cal? Well, I have to do the same thing if you were sitting over here.
Absolutely.
I would never wish it on my worst enemy as far as what's gone to our department.
no, I
You
know.
know, and to me, I'm just trying to protect my guys because you know I got guys that are like, they get to the door and they're looking out like, oh, I mean
Yeah.
these guys were smearing my guys
Yeah.
on the internet. I mean bad. Well, I mean if you go on YouTube videos, look at them.
I've seen,
Like 50,000 YouTube videos and people are on there just, you know, one was on there. Wonder what he'll say when I put my 40 in his face.
mhm.
Yeah.
These are people that
Yeah.
they can show up at our PD tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you go out the door. Hey, how are you, sir? How are you? You know, and you're just like, whoa, because there's people out there, and that's what this guy is trying to bring down on us. I mean, he even said at one of the meetings, you know, we're gonna make your life miserable. They know what they're
Well,
doing.
And that's,
They know what they're doing. They come across as, you know, they got the front, no, we're all for, and I didn't know this because I was a really heavy Republican kind of guy. I mean, I kind of agree with all the stuff they're saying, you know?
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden I see how you guys operate and I'm like, that's super shady. I mean, you come across as, you know, the front is legitimate and then behind the scenes, death threats and hacking into people's bank accounts. And that's where I thought was most disturbing. It's like, you want to mess with me at work, okay, you know, that's what I signed up for. I came to work and, you know, you traffic stops and, all right, officer, I'm going through on video, but
right,
now you're messing with me at my house,
yeah.
you
Trying
know,
to get into
your personal bank account, and I'm just like,
So, I mean, let's just move on, get this.
yeah, I
taken care
can't,
of.
we can go round and round and round.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I went to go see the lady just to talk about this, because it's just like,
Mhm.
same thing, it's just, this is the situation, we can go round and round, I can't change it, I go to DCI, they can't do anything for me. I go to the police, they can't do anything for me. What do you do?
Mhm.
You know, and that's my biggest, even to this day, I'm just sitting here going,
What do you do?
what do you do?
Yeah.
And I can't say that I'm the only one that's done it,
And
you
that,
know?
and that's the hardest part is that.
And I can't say that any of my other officers have done it, but it was almost like a joke,
Mhm.
you know? Like,
Right.
I'm gonna sign off for a bunch of email accounts or something, you know?
Mhm.
Do you tell anybody that you did that? Anybody else?
No, maybe Frank, you know, my sergeant, and just as a joke, like, yeah, we'll sign him up for an email account. Yeah, to really annoy him, because they all knew what was going on at the PD. The phone calls.
Right.
I just got a
Right.
phone call this last week. I had dispatch forwarded to me. You should hear it. I mean, just laced. They cussed out our dispatcher, and then she finally put it through to me, and we had to record it.
Mhm.
Save it for the attorneys to show all the stuff that we're dealing with. And it's just like, we're trying to run a police department just like you guys are. And if somebody's calling here just continuously, but it's from Arizona, what do you do? Call the Arizona police? What do you do?
We don't have the answers. I think that's the hard part.
Well, like I said, you try to do the right thing. You work through the law enforcement channels, and then when DCI tells you nothing we can do, there's nothing really illegal about that, I'm thinking, okay, well, if you can do it, buddy, I'll sign him up for some email accounts. To me, in my mind, that's not.
It is evident that Keleman has been frustrated for quite some time. If this were a purely personal matter, it probably wouldn't even raise any eyebrows. However, he is in a leadership position, and his actions only satisfy his selfish need for payback, rather than solve the actual problem.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking I'm doing something illegal. Just annoying. You know how kids are. I'm not touching you.
Right.
I'm not touching you. Just to piss you off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good analogy.
Right. Yeah, very good.
Mhm.
So,
All right, Bill.
if it's all right, because I know you can remotely access your computer, you all right with me? We'll go over to your PD, run to your house, I'll bring you back here.
I can do whatever you want.
Is that all right?
You want to ride in my car, or however you want to do it?
Either way.
I mean, I got
I just
SWAT
like to
here.
stay.
Why don't we do that? You can ride with him, I'll follow. That way we don't have to bring him full circle. And
Yeah, come all the way back.
I'm good with that.
Alright.
Alright.
I'll meet you in the back parking lot and I grab my keys and whatnot.
Alright.
Where are you parked in the back?
I might, well, you call it the back?
Back ramp? By the other squad cars?
Yeah, I'll let you.
Okay.
Should I move mine?
No.
It's out in the 90 minute, so I didn't know if
I don't know, I'm sure that's secret by now. No, I'm just kidding. Just leave it there. Don't worry.
Alright.
If it would have one, we'll take care of it. To the right, fastest way to be down in the hall, down the stairs, no?
This guy?
To the, yeah, the back ramp.
Okay.
Where you go, if you want.
I don't know the best way to get to that.
No, I'm just.
Tim Keleman entered a deal and pleaded no contest. The charges were dropped after 2 years, once Keleman completed counseling, served 40 hours of community service, and refrained from committing another crime during that time period. That'll do it for today. If you like this video and want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below where you can do just that. Thank you for watching, and stay safe.